You think Naruto Shippuden is the apex of the Narutoverse? Just a flawless masterpiece that can't be topped? Well, guess what? Boruto Two Blue Vortex has just obliterated that idea with a single damn chapter. Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, but this series is tearing apart everything that we've known. It's a twisted maze of shocks and betrayal, where every single turn makes you question everything. I just tore through the chapters, and it left me absolutely stunned. The revelations are earth-shattering, sending seismic waves through the entire Narutoverse. This is no easy ride. It's a brutal, unending assault on your emotions, where any notion of happiness is a distant memory. Kishimoto doesn't hold back in his merciless tale. If you're not ready for this level of carnage, turn back now. But if you got the guts to continue, let me ask you, who do you really think is the strongest in the Narutoverse? Think about it, pause the video, drop your answer in the comment. Done? Alright, well let's step into the eye of this damn storm. Chapter 1. The chapter kicks off with air-thick tension. Sarada's in the Hokage's office. Her voice is cracking with desperation as she begs Shikamaru, "Boruto is innocent! Boruto is innocent!" she shouts, but her words are met with a cold fucking wall. Here we see Shikamaru, now the Hokage with Konohamaru, standing uselessly beside of him as an advisor. Shikamaru's voice is like ice. We've given him countless chances, Sarada, but this time, he's crossed the freaking line. He killed the Hokage and he even tried to take out his son. The people of Konoha are not going to let this slide. Naruto wasn't just some guy. He was the Hokage, the hero. His words hang in the air like a death sentence, crushing Sarada's hopes. But she won't back down. Her voice grows fiercer, defiant. Shikamaru cuts her off sharp as a blade. Forget about coming the Hokage. With that attitude, you're gonna be lucky to stay a Genin. Sarada's eyes burn with fury. Is this because my father was a traitor? My inspiration isn't you, Shikamaru. It's Lord Seventh. Just like how he brought my father back, I will bring Boruto back. Here, it's clear that Sarada has dug into the brutal truths of her clan, the Uchiha legacy, and the twisted history of Itachi Uchiha. Now, we jump to the Daikoku 10 dimension. Naruto and Hinata are alive, but trapped in this otherworldly hellhole. For Naruto fans, this is a bittersweet breather. But don't get too comfortable. Shit's about to get real. Kawaki steps in. His appearance has mostly unchanged since episode 1, but his vibe is darker, filled with a simmering rage. Back in Konoha, Sarada and Sumire are in deep discussion about Eida's freaking omnipotence. Eida, who was once shrouded in mystery, is now a key player in the twisted new world. No one else knows the truth, only Sarada and Sumire remain free from Eida's manipulation charm. Desperate, they confront Eida, begging her to undo the jutsu's effects, but Eida's response is ice cold. "I don't control it," she says, her voice shallow. "I don't even know how it works." Meanwhile, Mitsuki's face-off with Kawaki shows a side of him we have never seen. The once gentle Mitsuki now speaks with a deadly calm. "This time I'll protect you, Kawaki, and I'll kill Boruto." This chilling declaration marks a turning point, a shattering one of the bonds that once held the team together. Then the nightmare truly unfolds. The Ten Tails army emerges from the shadows, from the earth itself, spilling death and chaos. Konoha is a battlefield. Kawaki fights to save the villagers on one side, while Sarada has orchestrated an evacuation on the other. The intensity spikes as Code strides into the village, locking eyes with Sarada. "Nice to meet you, Sarada Uchiha," he says with a sinister calm. Sarada, unshaken, demanding his intentions, but Code isn't here for a chat. "I've been hunting him for 2 years and I'm done waiting," he growls. In his tirade, he slips a mention that he's been chasing Boruto for 2 years. Even though Boruto left Konoha 3 years ago, what the hell happened in that missing year? And what about the scar on Code's eye? Could that be Boruto's handiwork? The tension is at a boiling point. "Scream for him," Code taunts Sarada, "and maybe he'll come save you." Before Sarada can blink, a blur rips through the air. Code is sent flying back by a brutal kick. Boruto is back, and his entrance like a damn explosion. That twisted shit won't win you any points with the ladies. He smirks, deadly calm. The entire village, even Kawaki himself, feels the seismic shock of his return. Now, the stage is set for an all-out war. On one side, Code and his ten-tail army. On the other, Boruto, standing alone back against the wall with Sarada beside of him. Eyes blazing, ready for a fight like hell. The tension is unbearable. This isn't just about Boruto's return. It's about survival, legacy, and redemption. One wrong move and the future of Konoha and maybe the entire Naruto verse is fucked. And that's just chapter 1, guys. Brace yourself, because Boruto isn't just any other protagonist. He's the heir to a bloody legacy, a warrior against destiny, maybe the greatest hero in this new era we'll ever see. Keep watching, because this storm is just getting started. Chapter 2. The tension in the air is unbearable as the chapter kicks off. Boruto and Code stand face to face, the weight of their unspoken history and unresolved conflict pressuring down like a storm, about to break. Code, with a twisted grin, mocks, "I didn't think you'd come here so easily." Boruto, colder than ever, shoots back with a deadly glare. "You still have time. Take your monsters and leave, and I will spare your life." This isn't an empty threat. This is a new Boruto, hardened by the loss and ready to finish what he started. Kishimoto's intentions to mold a colder, more ruthless Boruto is in full fucking effect, and he's nailing it! But Code does not back down. He continues with a venomous reminder. "You were the one who ran away from me 2 years ago in fear." This isn't just some cheap taunt. It flips the scripts that we've been following. We thought Code had bailed, but now everything's different. Did Boruto push him to his limits? Flee from that crucial encounter? And if so, who's really behind that scar on Code's left eye? Was it Sasuke fighting to protect Boruto? Did Sasuke get fucked up in that battle? Or worse, die? Did Boruto save his mentor's ass? These questions light up a damn storm of speculation, hinting at any unseen ally in that fight. This theory is small but a powerful twist that deepens our understanding of Boruto and Sasuke's bond. What the hell do you think? We'll peel back more layers as we dig deeper. But Boruto stands his ground, clearly unfazed by Code's words. His voice is like a fucking knife, cold and sharp. Yeah, you heard it right. If you don't leave, you will not only lose your left eye this time, but also your life. And at this critical moment, Sarada steps in, concerned for her friend. She asks how he's holding up. But Boruto, laser focused on the chaos, tells her, "There are still a lot of people here who are not in the safe zone. Save them all, we will talk later. Stay alive." His words are razor sharp, revealing awareness of the stakes. Why is Boruto so damn adamant about her staying alive? Is Sarada already on Code's hit list? This line plants the seeds for future conflict, a subtle hint that builds anticipation for the ultimate payoff. Meanwhile, the battlefield is a bloody mess. Shikadai, Chocho, and the others are in a brutal fight against the Claw Grimes when Himawari gets blindsided. Kawaki, like a frickin' lightning bolt, wipes out all the Claw Grimes, saving her. But then, when she thanks him, his response is ice cold. "How many times have I told you not to call me that?" This moment rips open Kawaki's inner turmoil. He can't stand the brotherly title because he's wrestling with his own fucking identity and guilt. His need to protect the village, to protect Naruto, mirrors the iron will of the people like Itachi, like Danzo. But which road will he take? Will Kawaki end up as the village's next tragic hero, like Itachi? Or will he tumble into darkness like Danzo? Then, all hell breaks loose. The Claw Grimes, once just a manageable nuisance, suddenly awaken the Rinnegan. Kawaki's face goes pale, purely in shock. One of these Rinnegan-wielding Claw Grimes lands a brutal hit on him, sending him flying. The realization is like a punch to the gut. The Claw Grimes are evolving, growing stronger each and every fucking second. And the awakened Rinnegan is just the start. Code, with millions of these beasts underneath his control, has the power to launch a fucking apocalyptic assault on Konoha, setting the stage for a colossal showdown that can alter the fate of the village forever! Despite their relentless effort, the Konoha fighters are getting fucked up. They are. The Claw Grimes seem endless. For every single one they kill, another one takes his place. Boruto, watching the carnage, turns to Code with a grim warning. "If you keep doing this, none of them will survive." But Code's response is as cold as ice. Don't worry, I have plenty. They're just tools for me. Boruto's face darkens. You still don't know the true horror of the Ten Tails. He fires back. This isn't just a warning. It is a promise of the nightmare to come. Boruto knows something deep and dark about the Ten Tails, a card he hasn't played yet. This is a tantalizing hint of what is to come, a hidden ace up his sleeve. Sarada's Chidori lightens up the battlefield, a powerful echo of Sasuke's old move, and for a moment, it's like a flashback to Team 7's glory days. But that nostalgia is shattered when a claw grime lunges at her. Soegi steps in, but the grimes mutilate her, turning her to some grotesque tree. What the fuck is going on? Are these evolving new powers? Maybe even beyond the Rinnegan? The tension ramps up, and it's becoming clear that these creatures will consume everything in their path until they find an Otsutsuki, cranking up the stakes even higher. In a tense standoff, Boruto throws down a final ultimatum for Code. I'll let you live if you take me to the Ten Tails. Code sneers at the absurdity. There is a limit to joking. But Boruto's eyes are cold, deadly serious. For me, killing you is very easy. Instead of dying like this, do something for the world and make your life a little bit valuable. The tension is fucking electric. And in that heartbeat, Boruto unleashes a new Rasengan, one like nothing we've ever seen before. Rasengan Uzahiko is a name that sends chills down your damn spine. What the hell is driving Boruto's desperate need to face the Ten Tails, and where the fuck is Sasuke? What is the true power of the Ten Tails? The ultimate payoff is looming. Each page is cranking up the intensity. And before we dive headfirst into the madness, remember, guys, we are on the brink of 500k subscribers. Smash that fucking subscribe button and join us as we dig deeper into the dark mysteries and explore the truths lurking in the shadows, guys. I appreciate you. Chapter 3. We dive into Chapter 3 where the tension is suffocating as Boruto strides to face Codes head-on. Code's eyes narrow, analyzing the unfamiliar Rasengan swirling in Boruto's palm. What the hell is this, he thinks, noticing the strange energy that doesn't align with the vanishing Rasengan, but with a swift gesture, Code unleashes his claw marks, triggering a relentless barrage. But Boruto, with unyielding resolve, sidesteps the onslaught like it's nothing. Remember, those claw marks operate just like Minato's flying Raijin. Boruto then counters with his Rasengan Uzahiko, thrusting it straight at Code, and in a swift move, Code grabs Boruto's wrist, swatting away a sword strike with his other hand. He sneers, "What's the point of your jutsu if it can't even touch me?" A cocky grin spreads across Boruto's face. "Forget hitting you," he responds, voice cold. "It's already halfway there. You're as good as dead." Code's eyes go wide as he feels Rasengan Uzahiko's energy crawling up his arm. His heart's pounding in his chest. Ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom. "What the hell are you doing?" he snarls, panic breaking through his bravado. But Boruto remains composed, issuing a final, dire warning. For what seems like the 6th time in a desperate flurry, Code unleashes a barrage of strikes on Boruto, yet every single attack whiffs. Boruto doesn't even blink. This isn't some genjutsu, Code realizes. His confidence is crumbling. So, what the fuck is it? Then it hits him. Uzahiko is thrown off his entire equilibrium. The world is spiraling all around him, and Boruto seizes the moment, unleashes a full-power Rasengan Uzahiko, sending Code flying like a ragdoll across the battlefield. And let's be clear here. This is Code without his limiters, stronger than Jigen, who tore Prime Naruto and Sasuke to pieces. Yet, Boruto is outclassing this Code effortlessly in his fucking base form. Then we cut to Eida and Daemon, who are watching the chaos unfold through their Senringan. Daemon's voice is almost casual, a hint of amusement in his tone as he explains, "Uzahiko isn't just some basic jutsu. It taps into the damn rotation of the planet itself." Back on the battlefield, Code struggles to his feet, his body betraying him as Boruto stands tall, eyes blazing with intensity. "The planet you wanted to destroy will now be your undoing," he declares. He starts to explain Rasengan Uzahiko's true power. But let's break it down for you. Here's the science. When something rotates or moves, it generates kinetic energy. Earth spins and produces colossal kinetic energy. Boruto taps into this energy using Earth's natural chakra and channels it into his Rasengan Uzehiko. Unlike a regular Rasengan, which relies on the user's chakra, Uzehiko draws from the Earth's rotation chakra. So, it will exist as long as Earth spins, or until Boruto decides to cancel it. Crazy, right? Want more details on this insane technique? Hit the comments. But, returning to the scene, Code is trembling, barely holding himself together. Boruto's gaze is fixed, unwavering. Uzehiko doesn't end unless I want it to, and I'll only turn it off if you spill everything about the Ten Tails. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifts as Kawaki arrives with the rest of the Konoha shinobi. He quickly briefs Shikamaru on Code's weakened state. Realizing the threat, Code calls his claw grimes from his marks, only for Kawaki to attack them on sight. But Code, ever the coward, uses a claw mark on his back to flee. Even after Boruto warned him about the claw grimes, the bastard does not ever learn. The scene shifts to Soegi, now hideously transformed into a tree but is still barely alive. Remember, the claw grimes are on a relentless hunt for an Otsutsuki, and any other shinobi that they devour ends up as lifeless trees. Back on the battlefield, Kawaki confronts Boruto, taunting. Has that Uchiha scum been training you or what? Boruto's face remains cold and detached. Good to see you're still talking shit, Kawaki, he shoots back, but before making sure Himawari is safe. But Kawaki's eyes darken with their unusual hatred. I will kill you, he mutters. But Boruto isn't alone here. A toad hidden in the shadows whispered crucial intel into his ear. It reveals that Code has retreated to his base, giving Boruto the exact location of the Ten Tails. And there it is, the monstrous Ten Tails looming ominously in the distance. Let me clarify. Only 2 people have ever used such toads. Kashin Koji, who fell to Jigen, and our beloved Pervy Sage, who met his hands at the end of pain. And yes, I still hurt from that. Do you? Let me know in the comments. Could one of them still be alive? Or has Boruto found a new master who taught him these dark arts? The plot thickens. With the stakes cranked to the max, the next chapter is set to deliver revelations that could very well shatter the foundation of the shinobi world. The chapter kicks off with Code standing ominously behind the Ten Tails, his thoughts swirling around Boruto's chilling warning about the beast's potential threats. Code, filled with arrogance and dismissiveness, scoffs to himself. This is just an instinctive stance. How could this damn thing really be dangerous? His words reveal a dangerous arrogance, a flaw that's already cost him dearly. Maybe that's why Eida tossed him aside like the trash he is. Meanwhile, amidst the raging clash between Boruto and Kawaki, the tensions is thick, enough to cut with a knife. A toad hiding in Boruto's shadow urges him, "Move your ass, kid! We don't have much time!" But Boruto, drowning in his own self-doubt, retorts, "Wait, I'm not on my grandpa's level yet." Kawaki, always the sharp one, catches on. Boruto, not talking to himself, in a heartbeat, Boruto vanishes using the thunder-flying rising technique. This moment is a game changer, solving a long-debated mystery. Can the flying rising pierce through dimensions? Well, the answer is a resounding yes! But it raises a hell of a lot of questions. How the hell did Boruto crack this damn technique? In all of shinobi history, only Tobirama and Minato have pulled this off. This revelation needs a deeper dive, guys. The pace rockets forward as Boruto reappears right in front of the bewildered Code. Towering presence of the Ten Tails is suddenly gone. The Toad, equally stunned, croaks out, "It was right here, where the hell did it go?" None of them, Boruto, the Toad, or Code, has any clue where the monster species vanished to. But then suddenly, Boruto feels a twisted, malevolent chakra creeping up to him from his left. He turns and his expression darkening. Shit, we're too late. Standing before them is a grotesque creature that once sided with Code, now mutated beyond recognition. Boruto's eyes narrow. This isn't some damn bug what we're dealing with now is a Shinju. But before he can explain any further, the Shinju launches a brutal assault, forcing Boruto to use a flying rising again, landing right beside a stunned Code. Up close, these Shinju are on a whole different level than the beast that the Claw Grimes are. Realizing how fucked up they are, Boruto deactivates Code's Uzehiko, allowing him to join the fight. A move that honestly might just get them all killed. Code, disoriented and pissed off, demands answers. Boruto's voice is dead serious as he spills. It's not just the bug. Everyone who is turned into a tree is evolving into these monsters. And just as he finishes, another Shinzu drops from the sky, ominously stating, "It's chakra." With this revelation, the Otsutsuki's sinister obsession with the earth comes to a sharp focus. The Shinzu's voice is ice cold as it breaks it down. Everyone who has ever lived or died in this damn planet, they're all tied to this world. Remember Amado's bombshell about finding Shibai's corpse on Earth? All those Otsutsuki bastards who kicked the bucket here, their chakra is still hanging around. It's like a fucking beacon for anyone chasing the ultimate power. The Shinzu continues. We were supposed to grow a divine tree, eat the chakra fruit, bounce. But now, because of your meddling, our egos and emotions have been awakened. More Shinju appear, and their power is undeniable. There are 4 of them, each wielding the dreaded Rinnegan. Madara almost wiped out the world with 2. Imagine what the hell 4 could unleash. The tensions crank up a whole nother notch as a hooded Shinzu steps forward, drawing Boruto's intense focus. The toad, now trembling, mutters, "This is bad, real bad. We gotta bail and rethink this whole damn plan." The scene shifts to Hokage's office, where Kawaki urgently warns Shikamaru. Boruto is more dangerous than ever. He's an Otsutsuki now, but he needs to be taken out. Sarada, not backing down, argues fiercely. Boruto saved Konoha from Code's madness. He's only here because of Code. And then she turns to Kawaki. And don't forget, you're an Otsutsuki too. Kawaki's response is ice cold. Yeah, but I'm the Otsutsuki who's gonna kill the others. The hypocrisy is fucking thick. Still, Sarada pushes on, urging everyone to stand with Boruto against Code. Then, the focus shifts back right to Boruto, who's trying to sneak attack a Shinju. The creature counters with deadly claw marks, leading to a vicious clash of Chidori and Rasengan. The Shinju are closing in, ready to tear him apart. Desperate, Boruto yells out for Code's help, but like a coward, Code of course bails. The Toad, now dead serious, delivers a grim warning. You're it, kid. If you fall, it's all over. Taking the hint, Boruto retreats. Their plan is to consume the Otsutsukis and harvest the chakra. But why didn't they devour Boruto? That bomb is dropped on the next page. The Shinju reveals. Since we've transformed, we've gained a deeper understanding of ourselves, and our hunger for the Otsutsuki is cooled. The scene cuts to Boruto's hideout, where a voice echoes from the shadows. You can't run from your fate, Boruto. This moment ties up several mysteries. Sasuke's fate, the identity of the Toadmaster, and the real mastermind guiding Boruto. Boruto turns to see his new mentor, Kashin Koji, who sternly asks, Do you want this planet to burn, kid? Boruto, somber, admits he's fucked up big time. Then we get hit with the gut-wrenching truth. Sasuke's been turned into a tree! Ugh. The chapter wraps up with a barrage of burning questions. Who the hell taught Boruto flying Raijin? What's the full scope of the Shinju's power? And how exactly did Sasuke end up like this? These stakes have never been higher, and we're left dangling on the edge of a cliff, knowing the worst is yet to come. Every single new revelation blurs the lines between ally and enemy, and pushing Boruto's resolve to its breaking point. The fight is very far from over, and darker, more brutal battles are on the horizon. Can Boruto and his allies uncover the truth before it's too late? The answers lie ahead in Chapter 5. Chapter 5. The chapter erupts into the chaos following the time skip, a brutal period clouded with mystery and blood-soaked battles. Boruto stands among the shattered remains of what was once his village, his face set in stone, his muscles screaming as he hammers away with his sword, sweat and fury mixing in the air. Sasuke watches him from a distance, silent, like a damn ghost. Before he finally speaks up, voice as cold as steel. I've taught you everything, every damn jutsu, everyone I know. The words hit Boruto like a fist to the gut. He turns, breath ragged, eyes wide with disbelief, trying to wrap his head around what he just heard. But Sasuke doesn't let up. You've got raw talent, kid. You're a real fucking prodigy. My lessons end here. But your real shit starts now. How far you go, how deep you master this, that is all on you. Boruto's breath steadies, his grip on his sword tightens, and you can see it in his eyes. Something clicks. Sasuke's gaze pierces right through him. Those eyes of yours remind me of Naruto's, but don't get it twisted. I don't give a damn who you are. I'm only here because Sarada asked me. Because I know something's coming. Something only you and Sarada can handle. The tension snaps like a bowstring as Code and a swarm of claw grinds rain down like a death squad from hell. You catch the scar slashing across Code's left eye, a souvenir from his last dance with Sasuke. Sasuke's eyes scan the enemy, cold and calculating, as he realizes they're fucked, outnumbered, and outgunned. The claw grinds in Code, unleashed without his limiters, an unstoppable nightmare. Get the hell out of here, Sasuke snaps at Boruto. Voice deadly serious. I'll hold them off, he says. Boruto hesitates, his eyes darting between his master and the oncoming storm. Sasuke's eyes narrow, his voice drops to a low, menacing growl. Run! Survive! Get so damn strong that no one can ever stand in your way again. This is it. A crossroad where Boruto's gotta decide. Stand and die, or trust the only teacher he has ever had. With a guttural snarl and burning eyes, Boruto finally turns and bolts, and as he disappears into the madness, Sasuke draws his blade. His face, a blend of grim acceptance and unyielding rage. Lightning crackles around his head. Chidori. A death sentence to anything in his path. As he charges headfirst into the horde, the scene locks on Sasuke, a thrilling portrayal of a warrior's last stand. Time bleeds away. When Boruto returns, it's a damn graveyard. The bodies of the claw grimes scattered like broken dolls. His stomach drops as he spots what is left of his mentor. Sasuke has been twisted into a dead, gnarled tree. A cruel moment into his sacrifice. Boruto falls to his knees, his hands trembling as he lifts Sasuke's sword. I've got this, master. He chokes out, grief sharpened into fury with everything that's been ripped from him. His parents, his friends, his village, and now Sasuke. Boruto stands, his spirit forged into the fires of vengeance. He will carry Sasuke's will, and he's going to do it his own way. The scene slams into the present. Moegi, Konohamaru's old friend, is another one of those damned trees. A martyr frozen in time, as we learn of her sacrifice, a final stand to save a mother and a child. Her students, Inajin, Shikadai, and Chocho, eyes burning with a newfound fire, swear to take down Code and bring her back no matter the cost. Meanwhile, deep in a twisted heart of the newly formed Shinju, shit gets even darker. We meet Matsuri, a female Shinju, her eyes blazing with a rage that doesn't belong to any tree. Then Jura, a Shinju with a cold, ruthless aura of Ishiki, steps up, his expressions colder than death. Our emotions are evolving. Consciousness is waking within us. Our mission remains to devour the Otsutsuki, create the chakra fruit, and rise in power. But our instincts, they're screaming louder now. His voice drops like a hammer, and my instincts say that I need to devour Naruto Uzumaki. The declaration hits like a freaking nuke, and even Eida, spying with her Senrigan, looks rattled. Confusion ripples through the other Shinju. Naruto isn't even an Otsutsuki, but Jura, eyes blazing, just doesn't back down. My instincts is my truth, he snarls. So what the hell do your instincts tell you? Matsuri's eyes narrow with a salvage gleam. I will devour Konohamaru. A monstrous insect-like Shinju shifts its gaze to Eida, voice dripping with venom. I will consume you, Eida. He pauses, feeling her through his senses, a sick grin spreading across his face. I'm watching you. A hooded figure steps forward. Hidari, his voice a low growl. Sarada Uchiha will be mine. Jura gives a knowing nod, almost like he expected it. Senrigan, he murmurs, smirking like he got it all figured out. I see. Back in Konoha, Sumire and Amado are locked in a hushed exchange. Amado drops his intentions like a bomb. He's planning to use Boruto's karma to resurrect his dead daughter. But there is a twist here, a brutal payoff, as we recall his old plan to use Ishiki's karma. So, why the hell switch to Boruto? Well, thanks to Eida's omnipotence, Boruto and Kawaki are now seen as each other by the whole damn world. But Amado, ever the schemer, smells a rat. He's combed through Kawaki's body, a marvel of his own design. But something's off. There's some shady shit going on, he mutters, suspicion thick in his voice. My memory. It's been tampered with. In the shadows, Shikamaru and Sai are eavesdropping, their faces darken with every word. Doubt and paranoia start creeping into Shikamaru's mind. Then, later, Sumire spills the beans to Sarada about Amado's revelation. Sarada exhales, frustrated as hell. Even if we showed them a damn Uzumaki family photo with Boruto in it, they just wouldn't buy it. Only my father did. Her voice cracks, the weight of it all bearing down on her. Just then, Boruto steps into the room. His face is carved with loss and fury. Sasuke gave his life for you. And me, he tells Sarada. His voice is edged with raw pain. And so, the chapter slams to a close, leaving a hell of a lot more questions than answers. Will Amado and Shikamaru piece together the twisted truth? Can this jutsu be undone? And lurking in the dark, a new player, Koji. He's waiting to make his move. What's his game in this unfolding chaos? This story is just starting to spiral, and the stakes are at a boiling point. With alliances splintering and trust in a short supply, Boruto's got to tread some dangerous waters to stay ahead of the game. The real threat is coming into focus, but the path to victory is littered with landmines. Chapter 6 will push Boruto's guts and grits to the absolute edge. Chapter 6. The scene opens in a dimly lit council room. The air is thick with tension. Shikamaru stands before the village elders, their faces twisted with distrust and barely concealed contempt. The shadows around them seem to whisper with accusations, fueling the unease that lingers in the room. Well, without hesitation, the elders drop a bombshell. Boruto is a traitor, the bastard who killed the Hokage. But Shikamaru, ever the calmest, doesn't flinch. He lays out the cold, hard truth. Boruto had just saved their asses from Code, but the elders, blinded by their fear and anger, refuse to listen. Their judgment is final. Boruto must be eliminated. Shikamaru, seething but composed, rises to leave, but one of the elders halts him in his tracks. Your 3 years of tenure are up, the elder declares with a chilling finality. It's time you officially take the mantle of the 8th Hokage. The words hang heavy in the air, revealing the grim reality that Konoha has been pretty much leaderless since Naruto's disappearance, a silent scar on the village's honor. Entering the Hokage's office, Shikamaru finds Ino waiting, the files in her hand filled with old mission records. He dismisses her with a curt nod, telling her to leave the files and get out. Ino complies, without a word, but doesn't go far. The moment she steps outside, she uses her mind transfer technique to connect with Shikamaru telepathically. His voice cuts through her mind like a knife, sharp and filled with urgency. This conversation doesn't leave the room. Whatever they're discussing is top secret, something that could shake the foundations of Konoha. Then the narrative shifts to a hidden location where Eida and Kawaki are locked in a tense conversation about the Shinju's terrifying power. Eida's voice trembles as she drops a bombshell. The Claw Crimes have awakened. They can see emotions now. Kawaki's eyes narrow in alarm. Aren't they underneath Code's control? Eida shakes her head, dread etched across her face. They've grown way too fucking strong. Code can't control them anymore. They're after everyone, not just the Otsutsuki, but regular people too, including Naruto Uzumaki. And me. Kawaki, grim but resolute, promises Naruto is safe in the Daikokuten. If those bastards want them, they're gonna have to go through me first. Daemon, lurking nearby, chimes in with critical detail. Only 3 of us know the truth about Naruto's location. Boruto and Sasuke know too. But they're marked as traitors. If the Shinju catches even a whiff of Naruto's chakra, everyone will think Eida's been lying about his death. Kawaki, face darkened by worry, departs to prepare for the inevitable confrontation. The scene transitions to a rare, intimate moment between Sarada, Sumire, and Boruto. In a fleeting calm, Sarada warns Boruto, if you stay, the surveillance unit will track your chakra. Boruto smirks. I've hidden my chakra. They can't find me. But the atmosphere quickly darkens as Boruto reveals the truth about the Ten-Tails, devouring an Otsutsuki, turns it into a divine tree. The stakes are getting higher by the second. Sumire, visibly shaken, warns. Kawaki has sensed your chakra. He's coming to kill you. Amidst the rising tension, Shikamaru, aided by Ino, makes a clandestine connection with Boruto. His voice is hard, filled with urgency. This is off the record and I need answers. But Boruto, ever cautious, fires back. Why should I trust you? Shikamaru presses on, warning of an imminent attack. Before Boruto can react, Mitsuki, consumed by rage, strikes his snakes, lashing out with lethal intent. Boruto, a seasoned warrior, evades the attack with precision of the flying Raijin technique. Sarada and Sumire try to intervene, but Mitsuki is a man possessed, launching one savage attack after another. As Boruto prepares to make his escape, he promises Sarada with cold resolve, I will save my master, and everyone who's been turning into trees. The battle is far from over. Continuing his conversation with Shikamaru, Boruto is blindsided by a barrage of piercing questions, with Shikamaru's voice is low, dripping with accusation. Are you really Boruto Uzumaki? Did you and Kawaki switch places? Because I refuse to believe that Genjutsu is behind this bullshit. But before Boruto can even answer, Mitsuki, again blinded by vengeance, strikes again. His intent is very clear. He wants blood. Boruto, determined and focused, prepares for the next onslaught. The chapter ends on a knife's edge, leaving a trail of unanswered questions. Will Boruto reveal the truth? Will he survive Mitsuki's wrath? As the clash of ideologies reaches a boiling point, Boruto faces his toughest challenge yet. The fate of the ninja world is hanging in the balance, and the next chapter promises new revelation and critical battles. Now, what sacrifices will be made in the pursuit of their goals? Well, we're about to find out in Chapter 7. Chapter 7. The chapter opens with Mitsuki's inner turmoil, a storm of thoughts raging in his mind. I am the moon, destined to reflect the light. But Kawaki, he's no fucking son, he muses, doubt creeping into his heart. The tensions spike as the scene shifts to Mitsuki and Boruto. Their eyes are locked in a deadly stare. Sage Mitsuki, fury burning in his glaze, attacks with ferocious intent. His power unleashed at every single strike. Boruto, cool and calm underneath the pressure, counters each and every blow, his eyes searching for an opening. Where's Kawaki? This is between me and him, Boruto demands, his voice cutting through the chaos. Mitsuki's response is sharp, almost dismissive. No, you're fighting me. And Kawaki, he's not even on my fucking radar right now. And you, Boruto, you're in a whole different league. His words are more of a challenge. They're a brutal reminder of the gulf that separates them. A fleeting thought crosses Boruto's mind. If Mitsuki is right, Kawaki is weaker than he expected. How the hell will he ever stand a chance against the Otsutsuki? A ripple of concern for Kawaki's fate stirs within him. Maybe Kawaki needs a mentor, someone like Sasuke to prepare him for the shitstorm that's coming. Mitsuki's attacks intensify, a relentless storm of power that would crush most, but Boruto, being the skilled warrior he is, and he just dodges every single strike, and then in one swift move, he draws his sword, the blade gleaming as it hovers over Mitsuki's throat. Kawaki isn't your fucking son, Boruto murmurs. His voice is steady. It's me, and if you ever needed light, you know where to find me. The words carry a promise, one that transcends the battlefield, a subtle acknowledgement of the bond that ties them together. Mitsuki, struggling with the revelation, presses on. Why did you kill Lord Seventh? He demands, his voice shaking with emotion. Boruto's response is calm, almost too calm. Lord Seventh is alive and safe. That's all you need to know. The scene then cuts to Shikamaru and linked through a private connection line. Their faces pale with shock as Boruto's words sink in. The truth that has been hidden from the world. Now lies are exposed, leaving Shikamaru reeling. Boruto's departure is swift. The tension is thick as Shikamaru instructs him to vanish, to go to nowhere no one can find him. Alone in his office, Shikamaru contemplates the shitstorm that he has just walked into. His thoughts are interrupted as Boruto's voice cuts through the silence, heavy with inevitability. I told you about omnipotence 1,000 times. Sarada and Sumire have too. But you'll forget. That's just how it works. You'll never remember, no matter how hard you try. You have to believe that Kawaki and I switched places, even if there's no proof. Anger flares with Shikamaru. If I were in your shoes, I would have saved Naruto first. Then I would have ended Kawaki. His voice is a raw edge, with words desperate with a plea for reason. But Boruto's reply is calm, almost resigned. Even Kawaki wants me dead. I won't go down that path. I will deal with this my way. This is between my brothers. His resolve is absolutely unshakable, a testament to the legacy he carries, his father's refusal to abandon those who have lost their way. Shikamaru's tone hardens. If you don't kill him, you'll be hunted as a traitor. Boruto meets his gaze, unflinching. So be it. This is a moment of truth, a quiet yet powerful resolution, where Boruto is embracing his fate, ready to bear the weight of being an outcast if it means staying true to himself. The story takes a twist as the scene shifts to Jura, buried in ancient tomes, searching desperately for answers. But the knowledge he seeks slips through his fingers like sand. Frustration builds and he just can't take it anymore. Jura rises, determination blazing in his eyes, and sets out a journey to find Naruto. This is his quest now, to unravel the truth hidden within the shadows. And as the chapters end, the stakes are pretty clear. As the conflict sharpens, what will become of the shinobi world? How will they face impending threats? Who will stand by Boruto as he walks his own path? Find out in Chapter 8. Chapter 8. The chapter kicks off with a flashback, a heated exchange between Boruto and Mitsuki, while Eida secretly listens in. The tension is palpable as Kawaki demands Eida spill Boruto's location. Even though she swore to Boruto she'd keep quiet, she falters. A moment of hesitation, and then she betrays him, revealing Boruto's whereabouts to Kawaki. With this betrayal, they set off, a dangerous alliance in pursuit, intent on a violent showdown. Meanwhile, the story cuts to Boruto and Shikamaru. The air is thick with urgency as Boruto warns that if the claw grinds consume an Otsutsuki, the entire planet's going to hell. He's unsure about the fates of those who've been turned into trees, but suggests that they might still be alive. Suddenly, Kawaki's presence is sensed. He connects with Shikamaru via the surveillance unit, revealing Boruto's return to the village. Before Shikamaru can react, Boruto feels the danger closing in and vanishes using the flying rising technique. Kawaki appears moments later only to find emptiness. A clear sign of Boruto's escalating caution and growing power. The tensions crank up as Kawaki's paranoia digs deeper. His distrust of the surveillance team is a ticking time bomb. The man who'd slaughter his own brother to protect the 7th Hokage. A man who's already betrayed Konoha. The question isn't if he'll strike again, it's who his next target will be. Shikamaru? Ino? Someone else? The stakes are higher than ever, and the shadows are getting even darker. Next, we cut to an unexpected exchange between Mitsuki and Eida about love, when what starts as a seemingly trivial chat quickly morphs to a crucial moment for Mitsuki's character. He admits to Eida that he doesn't feel the warmth, the sun-like presence he once sensed from Kawaki anymore. Yet, his affection remains, even if he stopped questioning whether this sun was ever even real. Eida, catching on to Mitsuki's conflicted feelings, is keen to speak to Boruto. Boruto's earlier declaration, "I am your son," has left a lasting scar on Mitsuki's psyche. In the current timeline, we see Jura, surrounded by a mountain of books, exuding an unsettling calm. He rises flanked by Hidari as they head towards Konoha's gates. The surveillance unit picks up 2 chakra signatures. One they don't recognize, and the other, unmistakably, Sasuke Uchiha. Panic is spreading like wildfire. Shinobi's units are scrambling, realizing that Sasuke is back, but something's off. A team confronts Jura and Hidari, oblivious to the nightmare that's about to unfold. Sensing the incoming storm, Shikamaru orders a full civilian evacuation. As Jura and Hidari press on, searching for Naruto, a chilling question lingers. Who the hell is Jura? The surveillance unit is baffled. Hidari has Sasuke's chakra. Bug holds that weird insect-like Shinju's chakra, and Matsuri likely has Moegi's. But Jura? He's an enigma. Suddenly, Kawaki charges at Jura with lethal force, but Jura effortlessly dodges and counters, knocking Kawaki out cold with a single brutal punch. The brutal truth settles in. Kawaki, once a force to be reckoned with, is a mere shell of his former self. The time skip has gutted him, leaving him exposed to anyone with the balls to step up. As the tension reaches its breaking point, Jura senses Naruto's presence, sending shockwaves through the narrative. But how? Naruto's stuck in Kawaki's Daikoku-ten dimension. So, who the hell does Jura sense? Hidari is skeptical, asks the obvious. Jura, with a cold certainty, replies, I can feel the Biju's chakra inside of him. But Kurama's dead. How can his chakra be inside of anyone? He senses Kurama's chakra inside of Himawari. The question hits like a sledgehammer. How did Kurama's chakra end up inside of Himawari? And more pressingly, who the hell is Jura? His connection to Naruto must be deep, just like the Shinju's link to the target is unbreakable. The chapter slams to a close, leaving readers hanging by a thread. The twisted web of mysteries just keeps getting more and more tangled as the pace slowly falls into pieces. The hunger for answers grows fiercer. Boruto emerging stronger from his trials, but the real fight is coming. The preparations are done, but the war is only just beginning. Will Boruto and his crew be ready for what's next? Chapter 9 will show us if they've got what it takes to survive this storm. Chapter 9. Shit is about to get real in Chapter 9. The stakes are at an all-time high, where every single twist hits like a sucker punch, raising more questions than answers. This series has turned into a maze of mind-bending enigmas, and we're diving straight into its darkest depths. The chapter opens with a tense standoff, Jura and Hidari versus Team 10. The air's electric as Shikadai frantically tells Shikamaru that the chakra resembling Sasuke isn't him, and the other presence is unknown but clearly a beast. Shikadai's call for backup isn't just urgent, it's desperate. With a chilling calm, Jura lays his cards on the table. He sensed the nine tails inside of Himawari. This revelation hits Team 10 like a ton of bricks. Jura's eyes narrow on Himawari as he attacks, but Team 10, standing united, blocks his path just in time. Jura, with twisted amusement, warns them, hand over the girl, or you're going to regret it. Shikadai quickly relays this to Shikamaru, who sends reinforcements, knowing damn well that things are about to get bloody. Meanwhile, Amado is shocked to see the Kawaki's pathetic state despite his karma. This scene quickly shifts to Boruto and Kashi and Koji, where Koji delivers devastating news. Shinju's have made the move on Konoha. Boruto doesn't even waste a second. He activates the Flying Raijin and he bolts straight into the chaos. Back on the battlefront, Shikadai fires off crucial questions. You were after Naruto. What is the sudden interest in Himawari? Jura's answer is cold and calculated. He's after the Nine Tails host, and he's zeroed in on the beast within Himawari. In a nerve-wracking twist, a toad appears behind Shikamaru, urging him to stay cool. Shikamaru, processing the chaos, relays intel to Boruto about the Shinju's siege and the looming threat to Himawari. Kawaki wakes up and sees Boruto and he loses it. You're with these Shinju freaks too? He snarls and Boruto doesn't flinch. I'm here to stop this Shinju. Get in line or get lost. Kawaki lashes out, but Boruto shuts him down with one single crushing blow. Delta, watching, is in shock. Boruto smirks. Been slacking on your training, haven't you? The action jumped back to Team 10, where things are hitting a boiling point. Jura's relentless, and Shikadai refuses to give up Himawari. Inajin's beast art opens up a way for their escape, while Shikadai's shadow paralysis is useless against Jura's merciless advance. Inajin, adrenaline pumping, gets Chocho, Himawari, and Shikadai out, and as they flee, Himawari encounters the Nine Tails. The Nine Tails' voice rumbling with a chilling gravity. Didn't expect the Ten Tails to pull this shit on me. He locks his eyes on Himawari. Do you know who I am? Himawari replies, calm and steady. You're the Nine Tails, aren't you? This exchange opens a Pandora's box of questions. Is this really Kurama, or something else entirely? How the hell did he end up inside of Himawari? The battle is just heating up, and it's gonna get messy. The cost of victory could be everything. Chapter 10 will tear open the heart of conflict and lay its bare consequences. Chapter 10. The chapter kicks off with a heart-pounding chase as Team 10 desperately flees from the unyielding Jura, their breasts ragged and hearts racing. The tension is thick, a knife's edge that cuts through the air with every single step. Then, the scene shifts, and we find Konohamaru charging in with a squad of hardened shinobi. Shikamaru's Glyn declaration that Team 10 has disappeared, and that the Shinju's only objective is to hunt down Himawari. It sends Kawaki into a seething rage, and without a word he storms off, anger burning in his veins. The focus then pivots back to Konohamaru, now locked in a tense standoff with Hidari. His eyes narrowed, he interrogates the sensory team about the chakra readings that they picked up. One again is unfamiliar, the other is unmistakably Sasuke's. The bombshell that the man in front of them is indeed Sasuke sends shockwaves through the group, disbelief etched into their faces. Just then, Sarada and Sumire burst onto the scene, their arrival adding a volatile charge to the already explosive atmosphere. Hidari, his eyes gleaming with malice, immediately sets sights on Sarada. With a twisted smirk, he lays down claw marks right in front of her, then unleashes a vicious Chidori. In a tense face-off, Sarada counters with her own Chidori, clashing with his in a burst of raw power. The impact leaves her disoriented, questions swirling in her mind. Boruto had only mentioned his father's grotesque transformation into a tree, leaving out the chilling truth of his return as a dark, corrupted force. Then, the narrative shifts once more to Himawari and Kurama. Kurama's revelation hits like a cold, hard slap. They're speaking within the confines of Himawari's subconsciousness, while a deadly enemy draws ever closer. He lays it all out. Even when a bijou dies, it's never really gone. Its essence lingers, waiting to be resurrected. Himawari was born with a sliver of the Nine Tails chakra, a fact that facilitated Kurama's rebirth within her. The revelation leaves her shell-shocked, as she snaps back into consciousness and sees Jura looming over her like a nightmare made real. She cries out for help, but all Kurama can offer is words, urging her to tap into the power that is hers by birthright. "Your chakra is superior to mine," he tells her, hinting at the potential that could eclipse Naruto's legendary strength. The comment is cryptic, leaving her to wonder. Does he mean sheer power or something more nuanced? Jura's assault lands like a hammer blow, a tailed beast bomb detonating with earth-shattering force, but Chocho dives in at the last second and saves Team 10 from utter annihilation. Kurama's words ignite a fire within Himawari. She urges forward, landing a devastating chakra-infused kick against Jura, but it's not enough. Jura retaliates with brutal counterattack, shattering her leg and binding her with his wood style, and Inogen charges for a desperate rescue, only to meet a gruesome end. Jura's wood style piercing through his chest, cutting his life short in a brutal display of dominance. Grief morphs into fury. Enraged, Himawari taps into Kurama's chakra, her eyes ablaze, a terrifying echo of Naruto's Baryon mode. Is this Baryon mode? The tension of awe is off the charts as Kurama and Himawari synchronize. His roar, "Come on, Himawari, let's destroy him," sets the stage for the battle that's about to tear everything apart. And the chapter ends here, leaving the readers once again teetering on the brink of chaos, craving to see if Himawari's newfound power can end Jura once and for all. And as the dust settles, questions linger. Himawari's bond with Kurama might hold some answers, but can she harness the monstrous power to crush Jura? Amongst the shattering fragments of what was once the hopeful future, Boruto is faced with a challenge unlike any that he's ever known. The cost of victory may be more than what anyone is prepared to pay, and Chapter 11 is set to push Boruto's resolve and leadership to the ultimate limit. Chapter 11. The battlefield is thick with tension as Himawari stares down Jura, her rage a living, breathing thing. Her mangled leg, now mysteriously healed, throbs with pain and fury. In this unleashed state, Himawari is a force to be reckoned with. She mends Inogen's wound with a quick, deft touch, though whether he'll fully recover is still up in the air. She orders Inogen, Shikadai, and Chocho to retreat, choosing to face Jura solo. Shikadai grappling with the weight of the situation and the echoing words, "With great power comes great responsibility," reluctantly falls back, his eyes betraying a newfound respect for her. As they make their exit, Jura's mocking words are still fresh, but before Inogen can snap back, Himawari let loose a single bone-crushing punch that sends Jura flying. He comes back swinging with a massive bijou bomb, only for Himawari to meet it head-on with one of her own. The resulting explosion is cataclysmic, shaking the earth beneath their feet. Jura, unyielding, unleashes his full might, pounding Himawari brutally that leaves her torn and unable to heal. The stakes get even higher as Boruto, torn between saving Sarada or his sister, makes his choice. With perfect timing, he yanks Himawari from the jaws of death, and just as Kawaki and Delta make their entrance, the focus slips to Sarada, who's caught in Hidari's vicious grip. His intentions dark and depraved. As Hidari preparing to consume her, Boruto crashes in, severing his hand and saving her. Kawaki, stumbling through all of the chaos, finds himself sidelined, insignificant, and amidst the unfolding mayhem. The chapter closes on a hell of a cliffhanger, setting up the final battle. Boruto and his comrades stand, battered but unbroken, preparing for a showdown that promises to end it all. Their resolve is ironclad. But is it enough to turn the tide? Chapter 12 is set to bring this conflict to an explosive, bloody climax. Chapter 12. As Chapter 12 unfolds, the tension is suffocating. Boruto and Hidari lock eyes. The air is thick with the promise of violence. With Himawari underneath Konohamaru's protection, Boruto stands unyielding as Hidari launches a brutal assault. Boruto counters with a devastating wind-styled breakthrough, a technique reminiscent of Orochimaru's, hinting at a dark, twisted tutelage that he might have undergone. Kawaki and Delta exchange nervous glances, with Delta confirming that Team 10 has safely made it back to Konoha. As the fight rages on, Konohamaru begins to doubt Boruto's loyalty. Sarada, however, stands by Boruto, recounting his acts of heroism. Reluctantly, Konohamaru decides to trust Boruto, who then drops a bombshell. Hidari's twisted connection to Sasuke and the desperate need to take him down to save a comrade. Suddenly, the scene explodes with chaos as a sinister claw mark craves through the battlefield, birthing a horde of twisted minions. Boruto orders Sarada to focus on her own enemies while he deals with the rest. But despite his warning, Hidari catches Sarada off guard, locking her in a death grip. Boruto, armed with the Flying Raijin and the Rasengan, strikes with deadly precision, severely wounding Hidari and forcing him to retreat into the Ten Tails dimension. Back in the thick of it, Boruto reveals his trump card, a jutsu so powerful it could absolutely obliterate Hidari if executed flawlessly. Konohamaru, ready to back Boruto's play, unleashes his new developed Rasengan barrier, deflecting Hidari's next lethal attack. Team 7 then rallies around Boruto, and Sarada uses Lightning Nagashi to lift Hidari up into the air, giving Boruto the opening he needed. With a vicious Rasengan Uzuhiko, Boruto delivers a fatal blow, ripping Hidari apart. But Hidari, in his final act of desperation, tries to escape through his claw marks, only to be obliterated by Kawaki's timely intervention. The remnants of Hidari's morph is twisted into a Thorn Soul, which Boruto snatches up for further investigation. Kashin Koji steps in, confirming the soul's dark origins, and as Boruto is prepared to leave, Jura hits a sniper shot. It nails Boruto, sending him crashing into the ground, and he steals the Thorn Soul. The chapter ends on a brutal cliffhanger. Boruto lies on the brink of death with the Thorn Soul now in Jura's possession. The threat of an Otsutsuki ascendancy looms large, casting a dark shadow over Konoha. Boruto's survival hangs in the balance, and the impending battle threatens to tear the shinobi world apart. Chapter 13 will surely bring this conflict to a bloody conclusion. Chapter 13. The scene fades in, dark and bleak. Boruto bleeding out, sprawled on the cold ground, barely clinging to life. Jura mercilessly and cold-bloodedly takes aim for the final shot, but before he can pull the trigger, a shadowy figure appears. Mamushi, a mysterious bug from the Shinju clan. Mamushi's arrival is a game changer, revealing that Boruto isn't as alone as he seems. A hidden ally knows all about the Thorn Soul. The revelation shakes Jura, causing him to pause instead of finishing off Boruto. Jura chooses to let him live, his decision laced with cruel calculation. He wants to test Boruto's strength, to see what the kid's truly made of, before passing his final judgment. The scene cuts to a flashback dripping with tension. Boruto concerned by a squad of 20 Saiyan shinobi. Fights like a beast, just desperate to survive. Just when things seem hopeless, a toad springs from the shadows, snatching Boruto away and dragging him to Orochimaru's desolate sanctuary in the Land of Wind, a place shrouded in darkness and in secret. In the sanctuary, Boruto comes face to face with Kashin Koji, a man cloaked in mystery. Koji reveals the sanctuary's true nature. hidden behind a powerful genjutsu, and he drops a bombshell that rocks Boruto to his core. I am Kashin Koji, an engineered creation of Amado Sanzu. Boruto stunned, and Kashi's next word hit him like a ton of bricks. You are Boruto Uzumaki, correct? Are you aware of the omnipotence? Koji's response is both unsettling and revealing. He admits he doesn't know too much about omnipotence, but drops a chilling prophecy about the life swap between Boruto and Kawaki. A future he foresaw, with his mission clear to stop Ishiki and prevent the divine tree from taking root on Earth. As Koji recounts his past, the screen flashes with haunting visions of his final showdown with Ishiki, his looming death, Ko's invasion, Eida's omnipotence, and the rise of the Shinju. But then comes the brutal truth. We, the creation of Amado, were infused with Shibai's cells, inheriting various forms of Shinjutsu. But, at first, Boruto, Delta, and Haya had no power. It was only when death stared me in the face that my ability was awakened. Koji's power, prescience. It lets him see all possible futures. It's a curse rather than a gift. It's kind of like Doctor Strange's abilities in Avengers Infinity War. But despite his foresight, he is powerless to change these futures. He can, however, guide Boruto, aiming him with the knowledge and skills he otherwise had gained later. The tension spikes as Koji unveils the worst vision yet. The Ten Tails will break free from Code, and it will evolve into a new monstrous life form with Jura at its helm. Jura's going to slaughter Boruto. He's going to feed Kawaki to the Ten Tails and usher in the Divine Tree's reign. If this is the nightmare scenario, Boruto is already neck deep in it. But with this knowledge, Boruto swears to defy his fate, to save Sasuke, rescue his parents, and protect Earth from the Ten Tails. The flashback ends, snapping us back into the grim present. Himawari wakes up eerily calm despite everything that has happened. She approaches Sarada and heals her, but when she tries to heal Boruto, Kawaki just blocks her. Together with Konohamaru, Kawaki drags Boruto away with cold, brutal detachment. Konohamaru's sudden cruelty, especially after Boruto's recent heroics, stirs up some serious backlash. The chapter closes with a dark scene at the Shinju's lair. Hidari is back and the resurrection of the new Shinju begins. The stakes are high, and the looming threat hangs over everyone like a death sentence. Chapter 14. Chapter 14 opens up with a tense interrogation. Boruto finds himself in a room with Konohamaru, Ibiki, and bound by Amado's sealing jutsu cuffs. The weight of the moment hangs in the air. You remember Ibiki, right? The sadistic bastard Kakashi once called the man who thrives on the pain of others. Well, he's here now, and he is not playing around. Boruto regains consciousness, and he's really groggy, and he realizes that he's completely helpless. Those damn cuffs ensure he can't use any jutsu, and Konohamaru makes it very clear there is no escaping this. Amado is a double-edged sword. Sure, he's working for Konoha now, helping with defense, intel, all sorts of crazy tech, but let's be real here, this guy is dangerous. He's smart, maybe too smart. He's created these sealing handcuffs for Konoha, but we know damn well he's capable of so much worse. Back in Chapter 79, whenever Kawaki gave Boruto that brutal scar, and the entire village was out for Boruto's blood, it was Amado who told Shikamaru not to kill Kawaki, because he had a secret command to shut him down. Kawaki isn't human. He's a damn cyborg, and Amado is holding his leash. There's just no telling how much Amado is hiding from Konoha. You see, he's playing a long game right now, but one wrong move could see him turn on everyone. But let's not forget, Shikamaru, with his 200 IQ, he isn't stupid. He is watching Amado like a hawk. But then the chapter shifts back to Boruto, who's trying to figure out exactly what happened. He asks the others if they're safe, and Konohamaru tells him that they are, but some shinobis didn't make it. The panel then cuts to Inajin, who's being healed by Sakura. She's saying something about how it's unbelievable that he's completely healed. But all you see is Ino, watching with that hollow, haunted look. It's like a scene straight out of a nightmare. Back in the interrogation room, things are getting intense. Boruto's being grilled about the enemies, why they targeted Sarada and Himawari. But before he can answer, the scene shifts again. Eida's watching the whole thing with her Senrigan, while Daemon taunts Kawaki. What if Boruto tells them the truth? What if he reveals Naruto's not dead, but alive? Kawaki's face darkens. Worry is creeping in. But Eida shuts Daemon up. Still, Kawaki, in all of his guilt, coldly admits that this is all his fault because of Momoshiki. And to kill Momoshiki, they have to kill Boruto. It's brutal and it's unforgiving. But here's where it gets real. You know the saying, even the walls have ears? Well, in Boruto Two Blue Vortex, Mitsuki's outside of the room, and he's listening to every single word. Meanwhile, Boruto finally breaks his silence, spilling the truth about the enemies and their motives. Then he drops a bombshell. Konohamaru's friend, Moegi, is turned into a Senju. She wants to devour him, and then it gets even worse. The Ten Tails has reawakened. It's no longer some mindless beast, it's sentient, and it's targeting Sarada and Himawari for information, planning its moves like a mastermind, and their leader, Jura, he is not some clone. No, he's not. He's the reincarnation of the Ten Tails itself. Konohamaru, though, however, is not buying it. He doesn't trust Boruto, which to me doesn't make sense of everything that's transpired, but it is what it is. He pushes for more answers, demanding Boruto to tell him why he killed Lord Seventh. Then Boruto, after a long, painful silence, finally speaks. I didn't kill him. Naruto's alive, and he's safe with Hinata in a secure place. But, of course, Konohamaru wants some details. Where? How? But Boruto won't budge. He's not giving up any more information. But then, the tension skyrockets. A real gangster walks into the room, ready to break Boruto. He beats the hell out of him. He is more savage than anyone in the previous 13 chapters. Boruto takes the hits and refuses to say a word. The air is thick with violence, but Boruto doesn't break. Enter Shikamaru, and he's got a plan. He orders Mitsuki to use poison on Boruto to force him to talk, but instead of poisoning him, Mitsuki actually frees him. Boom, the cups come off, and Boruto used the flying Raijin technique, and boom, now he's gone. Everyone thinks that Amado's cuffs were faulty, but Konohamaru knows better. This was Shikamaru and Mitsuki's plan all along. As Boruto escapes Hidden Leaf Village, the stakes rise once again. Shikamaru gets a call from the Hidden Sand. Kankuro delivers more bad news. Gare and Shinki have been defeated, and Shiki has turned into a tree. Meanwhile, Ryu joins the Shinju's team, and everything is spiraling, just like Kosh and Koji predicted. The end is closing in, and the question is now, who is Ryu targeting next? How is Boruto going to stop these forces of destruction? We're going to find out in the next chapter.
Chapter 16 doesn't just begin. It throws you headfirst into a black hole of chaos, secrets, and enough space-time ninjutsu jargon to make Einstein tap out. Kashin Koji doesn't sugarcoat it, and for Boruto, no. He drives straight into explaining a technique that is so absurd, it's basically teleportation for psychopaths. Think of it as like UPS, but instead of parcels, it's people. It's called space-time ninjutsu. It's a gift, or is it a curse? Bestowed upon the Otsutsuki clan because apparently being gods wasn't enough for them. Koji casually mentions Boruto once unleashed this power by accident. Like a kid setting off fireworks indoors. Yeah, we all know the person who did that. Oh, but don't get too cocky, Boruto. You've got 6 years of training ahead to actually control this. Unless you want your teleportation skills to end with half your body missing, this power, dramatically named the Flying Thunder God technique, lets you attach your chakra to ninja tools and zap wherever they are. Weapons grade DoorDash, if you will. Koji then hits Boruto with a pretty fun fact. Oh, your grandpa actually did something similar, but, better. Koji reassures him that mastery does indeed take time. But hey, at least Boruto knows what to do now. This ties back into chapter 13, where Koji declared himself Nostradamus with better hair, foreseeing Boruto's future and nudging him towards jutsu greatness. Boruto, naturally, asks the obvious question. If you know the future, then why don't you just tell everybody and save us all the headache? Koji then smiles, about to drop some existential bomb. Because, my dear protagonist, messing with the fate makes things worse, and you'd end up rewriting destiny as a cosmic dumpster fire. Koji reveals he's a singularity, someone who knows the future but doesn't meddle. Oh, and guess what? Boruto's a singularity too. Double bonus. So is Eida. Shikamaru then shifts gears, asking about Boruto's mysterious ally. Eida speculates that it's Kashi and Koji, but then boom, suddenly a toad hops out of her hair, and let's be honest, that's not the weirdest thing you've seen today. You've been watching too much anime. The toad confirms Koji's involvement and delivers an ominous message. Shut up and listen. Dispatch Sarada, Mitsuki, Konoha to the Sand Village ASAP. Ryu and Matsuri are en route to wreck shop. And then the kicker. Whatever you do, keep Himawari in the village. If she leaves, well, let's just say we'll be naming memorial plaques. Dark? Yes. Effective? That's also a yes. Shikamaru, ever the tactician, asks why Jura, another potential threat, wouldn't attack the village, which is a very good question. Koji explains Jura respects village culture. Basically, Jura's a homicidal maniac who insists on wiping his feet before entering in your house. Kind of like how we saw Jigen do at Naruto's house. Koji warns, however, that if Jura does get involved, the best strategy is so simple. Run like hell. We then jump over to Mitsuki, Sarada, and Konoha arriving at the coordinates that Koji provided, joined by Sand Village shinobi. Ryu and Matsuri don't waste time. They show up and murder Koji's toad without much of a hello and set up the stage for an epic showdown. By the way, rest in peace, Toad. As the chapter closes, though, one thing is certainly clear. Chaos is only constant. You want to know what the worst part is? This is just the beginning. Joy.
We've seen Boruto rise from his father's shadow, battling new and terrifying enemies and uncovering hidden threats, enduring shocking betrayals. But the journey is far from over. In our next video, we're going to be diving into the fallout of these epic battles, explore the new power dynamics reshaping the ninja world. What mysteries still lurk in the shadows? How will Boruto and his allies navigate the treacherous path ahead? The stakes have never been higher, and the road ahead is paved with potential revelations. But, for now, this is where we will leave things. Guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that damn noti bell, just so you don't miss what comes next in Boruto's relentless saga. The adventure is far from over. Stay tuned to find out what the hell happens next.